The solar system was formed and found 4.6 billion years ago, according to scientists, according to space facts. My topic is the solar system, and I will tell you what the solar system is and the basic 5 types of bodies that surround our sun, which include planets, dwarf planets, moons, asteroids, and comets. What is the solar system? Before I begin, you break down the word solar system. Solar literally translates to sun, and system is a collection of objects that interact as a whole, which is basically what it is. The dictionary definition is it is the collection of 8 planets and their moons in orbit around the sun alongside smaller bodies. Our solar system is formed of 8 planets, 5 dwarf planets, 181 moons, 552,894 asteroids, and 3,083 comets according to theplanets.org. What is a planet? A planet, the requirements for a planet are that it must orbit a star, which in our system is the sun. It must be big enough for gravity to force it into a spherical shape, and it must be big enough so that its gravity clears its path for orbit around the sun. The first planet is Mercury. This is the closest planet to the sun, but it is 36 million miles away. It is the smallest planet with a rocky terrain. There are 88 Earth days in a year on Mercury, and Mercury has 0 rings or moons. The second planet is Venus. Venus is about the same size as Earth. It is 67 million miles away according to NASA, and there are 225 Earth days in a year. It is also rocky without any moons or rings. Oddly, it is the warmest planet, even though it is the second furthest away, and it can reach temperature up to 900 degrees, which is why it is incapable for human life. Third planet is Earth, which is 93 million miles away. Earth has 1 moon and 0 rings, as we know. Earth is mainly covered in water, with an atmosphere of 78% nitrogen and 21% oxygen, which makes it perfect for human life. Mars is the red planet. This is the 4th planet away from the sun, and it is 142 million miles away. There are 687 Earth days in a year here, and it is also very rocky with very thin air. There are 2 moons and 0 rings. Humans have begun trying to explore life possibilities on Mars, but at this time, it is inhabitable for life. Jupiter is the next planet. It is a gas giant. This is 2 times the size of all of the other planets in our solar system combined. There are 484 million miles between the sun and Jupiter. It has 4,333 Earth days in 1 year there, and there are 53 known moons with a faint ring system. An interesting thing about Jupiter is the Great Red Spot, which is really just a raging storm that has been going on for millions of years that is twice the size of the Earth. Next is Saturn, a second gas giant, which is 886 million miles away from the sun. There are 62 moons and an amazing 7-ring system, which it is famous for. Then comes Uranus, which is the first ice giant, 1.8 billion miles from the sun. There are 30,687 Earth days in a year here, and it has 27 moons and 13 rings. It is very cold and windy, and it is unique because it rotates on its side, unlike the other planets. Lastly is Neptune, which is the last planet and also an ice giant, 2.8 billion miles away from the sun. Neptune has 13 moons and 6 rings. All 8 of these planets can be seen through very expensive telescopes. There were 9 planets up until 2008 when Pluto was considered a dwarf planet. So what's the difference between a dwarf planet and a planet? Well, dwarf planet is a term that was adopted in 2006. They are similar to planets. The only difference is they are too small to clear their path of orbit around the sun. And they orbit around the sun and not another planet, which distincts them from a moon. Moons are also called natural satellites. They orbit planets rather than the stars, and these come in many different shapes and sizes. They are often airless, but they can have an atmosphere and even hidden oceans. Asteroids, which are found in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, most of them, are rocky, airless worlds that orbit around the sun. They are too small to be planets, and they are found in this big asteroid belt. About once a year, an automobile-sized asteroid hits the Earth's atmosphere. Lastly are comets. While there are only 3,000 known comets, scientists suspect that there are more than millions of comets in the Kuiper belt far outside Neptune and Pluto. It is likely that there are billions out there. In conclusion, the solar system is a fascinating thing with many objects that many of us aren't very familiar with. Thanks to satellites and missions, more is being discovered each and every day about our solar system. It is amazing to think how large Earth is compared to us, and then even more amazing to think that it makes up less than 1% of the solar system. Our solar system is around us every day, and it is very important that we all become more and more aware with what's around us.